It's just I really thought that this was a team win for us. I think that's what it means is that this team is the team that you got to beat in this league. They're one of them that has certainly stood the test of time. They're one of the elite teams in the league. And so to be able to go on the road, that's what you're hoping for as a team, is to be able to go on the road and play your brand of ball. And I felt like this was an outstanding team win in all three phases. For us, it was a resilient win against a quality team. And that's really what it means for me, is you want to measure yourself against people that you really, really respect. And we have a lot of respect for them. Yeah, we were really going to go for that one. We certainly didn't want to get pushed back, but felt like that was the direction that we wanted. We want to put the ball in Justin Herbert's hand and have him be the decider. That's what I felt like was best in the game. I felt like where we were at with the wind, which had a lot to do with the kicking game today, I felt like putting the ball in Justin's hands was the right decision, and he certainly came through for us today.
Expanding on that a little bit, the 3 4th-down decisions in the fourth quarter, how much of a factor was the wind in those decisions to go for it on the fourth quarter and again on the fourth down?
Yeah, Daniel, I think it's really good points. I think it was part of it. And I felt like our offense was in rhythm. I felt like we really needed to get the momentum of the game back and keep their offense off the field. So I think it was a combination of factors, but I really felt confident in where we were offensively with our matchups outside. And then just it was a tough wind here. It was cutting across the field, and I just felt like for both guys it was difficult to kick in. So just really wanted to put the ball in our offense's hands, and those guys really came through today.
Brandon, that's what you said, Justin Herbert is the best player on the field. Can you say something today?
Yeah, I felt like Justin was the best player on the field, and I think Mike Williams was right there with him. I thought that those two guys really stood out to me. Justin had 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. There was, a fierce rush out there. I felt like he really played the position how you need to. I felt like he was patient when he needed to be. We had a couple play action shots that didn't quite express themselves. I felt like he was awesome in the check down game, getting the ball underneath, and they played a lot more 2-deep zone coverage with some of their corner situation. And I felt like he really played the position at a high level. He showed high level toughness, and then certainly in a 2-minute drill. I mean, the big throw to Keenan, and then finishing off with Mike. And then you can't say enough about Mike Will. I felt like this guy all year so far through 3 games. I mean, this guy's been fantastic, and he certainly came through for us today.
Brandon, you obviously want this team to be aggressive on both sides of the ball. How much of a role do you have in establishing that identity by making decisions like you did on 4th down? How much of an effect do you think that has on your team?
Yeah, I think when we talked about our plan to win, I think anytime you play an offense that's this historic, when you're playing against, really 3 players that are historic players in the game, you have to be aggressive. Not reckless, but you have to be aggressive. And I felt like all of our decisions were sound decisions. They weren't over-aggressive. I felt like they were just aggressive. And I felt like, part of the plan to win today was, if you look at this team historically, you got to turn them over. And I felt like we were able to do that today. And certainly with 4 takeaways, that's the way. That's a perfect situation, certainly to get 4. I mean, they're just a really tough team to play against if you don't, because they score the ball so prolifically. So to be able to take away some of their turns, create more ops for your offense, and then change the field position, I felt like that was really critical in the ball game today. And the fact that, Justin stayed mistake-free. I mean, when you go 4-0, that was as impactful as anything in the game, is that it was 4-0 in the takeaway margin.
Brandon, when we win a game in the final moments, how much does the experience of pulling that off help in the big picture?
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. You have to close out games. Like last week was a tight one, 2-minute. Well, Pat Mahomes had a 2-minute drive today, and we were able to finish it on defense. And I felt like that does give you confidence. There were some end-of-game situations there defensively in a low 2-minute drill like that, where you're really unpacking your last play type stuff against them. And so that high level of execution that doesn't happen a lot. Like, hey, are you executing when you got to have it? Are you staying penalty free? Are you making sure that you're connected and playing sound football? I felt like that was really big. And then I think offensively, being able to unpack that last drive and just being able to hang tough, and a couple critical 3rd downs. Operationally, we still need to be better from our procedural stuff. We had 2 motion penalties again, which has been a huge point of emphasis, and clearly we need to have it be even a bigger emphasis, because we can't play like that. We're fortunate we have a gangster quarterback, but we got to coach better in that part of it. But just the situational part, it happens like this for great teams, and that's a great team that we just played. So to finish these types of games, you got to play well at the end, and I felt like we did that today.
You
Mike's last touchdown, he said that was a run play,
Mm-hmm.
that pass was a tag. Were you thinking there was try to run out the clock?
Yeah, if that was going to be how it unfolded, finishing with the ball, but we really wanted to put the ball in our offense's hands to finish that game out. We knew that there wasn't going to be a lot of time for that group, and they had one timeout, that was it, and they had to go score a touchdown. All right, so we felt like time was on our side, and we wanted to put the ball in our offense's hands. And so that was a run with a tag for an advantage situation, which we've done a really good job with this year. Kind of that run advantage, run RPO part that we've talked about. And when you've got good run solutions like that, and again, the goal line fade, if you have the good matchup that you like, certainly Mike Williams is one of those guys we feel confident in.
That drive where they scored 17 unanswered, and
yeah.
you guys are able to go down and score that touchdown. How crucial was that to answer back on that after 17?
Fernando, I think that may be the storyline of the game, because that team goes on runs. Okay, it's the Golden State Warriors over there. All right, that's Klay Thompson, that's Steph Curry, that's Kevin Durant over there, right? And they're going to make plays, and we knew that. We're like, hey, listen, like at halftime we were feeling good, but like, hey, this team isn't going down like that. They're going to make plays. They're going to make a run. And when they make their run, we got to come together as a team and find our way. And I felt like that's what we did a good job. Defensively, we kept our composure. All right, we were forcing them to drive the field. That was the silver lining in those 3 drives, is they weren't knockout punches, right? They were drives where we were executing and they were making some plays, right? I felt like we can play a little bit better down there in the lower red. I was a little bummed about that, but again, you got to consider who you're playing against, all right? And then offensively, when we had kind of lost the momentum a little bit on defense, we were able to respond and score touchdowns today. And I felt like that was the big thing down in there, was we were able to score touchdowns. And I felt like that was, a big story in the game, because you can't trade field goals with that team. It's really tough to beat them that way.
How impressive was that throw from Justin to Mike for the touchdown at 20-yarder with Chris Jones sort of barreling down on him?
Yeah, this guy made some incredible throws with people right on him. The type of toughness this guy played with, I thought he took some shots that were borderline, and this guy just delivers the football. And he's got real toughness, and we all know how talented he is. But when you talk about his intangibles and his toughness, more than his talent, that's saying a bunch. And I felt like he showed all that stuff today, and we needed all of it in order for us to win.
Brandon, they rushed for 186 yards. What can you guys do differently to be able to stop the run?
It was really 141. The quarterback had 45 on loose plays, which does not count for me. So they had 140. You got to assess how you're going to play that team. I felt like it was going well early. There were a couple 4- and 5-yard runs. Their longest run of the day was 14 yards. All right, and so we felt like that was going to be a big part of the game plan. I think that we can certainly execute maybe a hair better, maybe a couple 4s and 5s. Maybe those goes for 1s and 2s. That's what you would hope for against a team like this. But I felt like we tackled exceptionally well today. And I think that, like I said, when you take that 186, look at it a little bit closer, because 45 came off loose plays from the quarterback. So it's really like 141 on 26 attempts. And, I can live with that versus that team. What I felt like the storyline in the game was 44 attempts for 260 yards. When you can hold that guy to 5.5 yards per attempt, that's rare. I'd love to know how many times it's been done, because putting a roof over that guy is not easy with as good as he is and as good as they are around him. And so I felt like our defense really, really, really competed today.
Can you talk about Joey? Joey came in
Yeah.
when he played numerous snaps. Can you just talk
Yeah.
about the impact that he had?
I'd love to bring that up, because Joey Bosa exemplified the warrior spirit that you need in order to beat a team like this, right? When you're not feeling great, you need your premium players out there. Derwin James got nicked up. He comes back out because he's got a warrior spirit. And that's what you need when you play teams like this. It's all hands on deck. I mean, we won the takeaway battle 4-0. And, we're there at the end because they're that good of a team. So Joey came out there and competed in the game, gave us a real chance, had the big sack, which was a huge momentum builder for us, because it kind of, hey, Joey Bosa's out there, and we all know that he was holding the rope out there, not feeling his best. So I felt like he really competed in the game and gave us a chance.
You mentioned putting a roof over the coverage.
Yeah.
What does that say about some of these defensive backs that you have, particularly Nas Adderley, Derwin, a little Gilman playing safety?
Yeah, I'd like to bring up a couple guys too, Daniel, because it's a great point. Trayvon Campbell started as star for us today. It was fantastic in the game. We felt like this guy's got real speed, and we felt like we needed to match the speed of that guy, him and Mecole Hardman. We felt like we needed a guy that could run 4.3 in the slot, because Chris is out. So Trayvon Campbell came in, had 2 huge forced fumbles in the game, and he was connected all day in pass coverage. So I don't think you can say enough about that guy. And then in the deep part of the field, all right, Nas and Lowe and Derwin are playing as well as you can play against that team. And they're really well coached. We got, like I bragged about our secondary coaches, all right, Noddy, all right, Derek Ansley, Tommy Donatel, Isaac Shoemaker. Those guys are unbelievable back there, and they have a lot to do with it too because of how connected we are. Mark Webb came in the game today, a rookie, playing dime money, playing fantastic. And that's what you need. You need all hands on deck to play against a team like that because, there's danger every snap. And I felt like our guys really understood our game plan and really executed it at a high level.
Brandon, it didn't hurt you this week, though, with the Eagles trip. What's wrong with that?
It definitely hurt us this week, Gilberto. And we're lucky we got bailed out. And our guys have to do a better job of understanding if there's time on the clock and it's getting, like maybe it's not happening like we practiced it, we've got to understand, right, when you are sped up a little bit, like that's sequencing. And we got to practice it more, all right, because we're a big motion team. Motion gives you a great chance to be successful, okay? We want to be a motion team. But there are some things that are happening out there that, quite frankly, are on me. We got to do a better job practicing, and we will, because we can't have the procedural issues pre-snap. You can't do that if you're a clean operation, and we have not been clean enough. We have 8 penalties today, and it's too many. And we need to perform better, and I need to do a better job coaching.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Oh, go ahead, Shelley. Go ahead, Shelley.
How do you keep it from being a nail biter? Because you're driving me nuts, waiting for the game.
So, Shelley, I think regardless of what, like the storyline will be 4 takeaways, okay, and I know that, but let's say it wasn't. I think it's still going to be a close game no matter how it unpacks against them because they're one of the premium teams. And so I think what you just got to get used to is if you're playing premium teams in the NFL, it comes down to the end, regardless of who the team is, but particularly against them. And so that's where situationally, end of game, end of half, low red area, all those things, Shelley, that's why they're so important. And that's why we have to continue to practice them so much, because to beat that team, you have to be at your best in those situations. And we're going to continue to improve because there's a lot on this film, guys, that we're not going to like. Like last week, I know it was the tough side of things, right? But we can't have an illusion of what happened either just because we won. There's going to be just as many things that didn't happen, right, that we have to tell the truth about. And so that's where we can't be confused. And I'm excited to get to those details tomorrow.